you want to stand over here?
Alright, we're live.
Don't go through the computer.
Alright, we are on YouTube, we are on Facebook, I think.
I don't know, I haven't gotten any
You won't get it yet.
notifications
Give
yet.
it a second.
Maybe we have to give it a couple minutes. So.
We're live.
I think we're live. I think we're doing it. Hopefully people could see us. I think so. Wait.
Oh, there's people joining. Stephanie and Yamali joined.
Oh,
Some
cool.
joined.
Hi, girl.
Cool. Hi, guys. Hi. Is it Yamali? Hey, Yamali. How's it going? Hey, son. Shane, you're going to have to tell me who's on and who's
Alright, I
off.
will. Here's the chat. I'll help you. Yeah, okay, Ashley.
Hey,
Let's bump the
Ashley.
camera. Manuel, Vanessa,
Manuel from Belize.
Angela.
Angela, what's up? Manuel is our Belize friend who we met out there, who showed us all of Belize, and he's pretty amazing.
I'm gonna give a quick. So you're gonna start the timer.
Yeah. So basically, we're gonna wait for people to join us, and we're gonna go ahead and start in 5 minutes. So let's go ahead and start that timer. And in 5 minutes, we could get started with this topic today. But I'm so glad that this is working. I'm so glad we did the test run yesterday because, look, I have a little sidekick over here. I don't know if you could see her. She's ready. She's
I'm gonna give a little behind the scenes too. So
Yeah, come over here, Eva.
Eva, you weren't on camera there.
You
There's
went on.
Judo,
You went on.
lights.
Jude's over here playing. I got Ava over here.
Party poppers.
And let's get over here.
Here she is.
Caesar said hi, Mom.
Live and uninterrupted. Oh, sorry.
I'm getting the party poppers ready.
My mom's out there.
Oh, hey, how's it going, Mom?
Okay.
Hi, Mom. Caesar.
Sung said you need a bigger timer.
This is the biggest I could get, so hopefully you
He
can
was
see
being
it.
sarcastic.
Can you see it? So, hi guys. Thank you guys for
Melanie,
joining.
Samantha,
Melanie, hey.
Christina.
Samantha, hey, how's it going?
My mom's there. Hi, Mom.
Hi, Lupa's mom. Look at this little guy. He's ready to be on camera.
All right, so keep telling people about the timer who just joined.
Yeah, so we're keeping a timer because when it comes to zero, go ahead and get started with our topic today. But meanwhile, Jude wants to say hi. Say hi. Say hi. Say hi. He's been a little bit under the weather today, so I don't know how happy he'll be.
Emily and Jessica Graff are there.
Hey, Jessica. We need to get together, girl. Like, definitely. Emily, hello. Hello, hello.
She's our number one fan.
Emily's my number one fan and also
love
my
her.
most favorite sister in the whole world. Wow, you just bit me. I think he's definitely teething. So, yay, Jude! Are you excited about our first show? Yeah, he's teething. Okay, yes, okay, yes.
How much
I get
party
it.
poppers there are.
Oh, Ava wants to show off the party poppers. Oh, we're gonna do a little celebration.
Yep. In 5 minutes. Oh, 2 minutes and 46.
2 minutes and 46 seconds. We'll get this party started. We're really excited. This is something like that we've always wanted to do is, have a little live show with how things are really behind the scenes. All the chaos that 4 kids brings to our lives.
What? Chaos?
Alex, I wish you were here. Alex is my oldest son. For those that don't know that, he doesn't live here. He lives on his own because he's a big boy, and he doesn't like being on the camera very much. So he's very not much on the show, but he's definitely part of our. We're gonna convince him at some point.
Someday.
At some point, yeah,
It's hard to convince a 19-year-old to want to be
yeah.
associated with his parents.
Convincing a 19-year-old to do anything he doesn't want to do. Okay, get down.
1
Bye.
minute. 1 minute.
1 more minute. Waiting for people to log on.
So, did you do anything for Cinco de Mayo? Did you guys do
Yeah, we worked all weekend long. We were very busy on Cinco de Mayo. I think we pulled an all-nighter. We've had a lot of work lately. And yeah, fun times over here at our house. But I do have a limerita, that we're gonna use on Cinco de Mayo, and I'll just go ahead and have that now. Wow.
I don't have my Pacifico since I didn't celebrate Cinco de Mayo, so we'll do it now. Cheers.
Cheers to that.
All right, we have almost a
We
minute.
have a minute left, and we'll wait for some people to join on. I can't see comments, so hopefully someone's going to be telling me.
You better get that fired up.
Oh, that's funny.
Do you have comments on yours?
Yeah, they're really cute.
So Sean says buffering issues, but not really that bad.
Oh no! Joshua, can you get some poppers? We're gonna do a little celebration just to celebrate that it's our very first show, and we're really excited. And Ava had this idea of throwing confetti in the air, so we bought some poppers. Here, can you bring Lucas?
Oh, okay.
Bring me some too. Thank you. Shane, do you wanna do
Yeah,
a
I'm gonna come
popper?
around.
Come here, little girl.
I might scream.
I'm like totally ready.
And also, I will have a video that I took of scaring the living daylights of Shane before he knew that we had poppers. And Josh took an amazing video, so we will be posting that in the next vlog. So, where's Jude?
Oh, look at mom.
Back there.
It's back there playing.
Yeah, that's us, huh?
He's gonna get all.
He's gonna get super scared, but
Oh my gosh.
5,
I'm gonna
4,
Baby's
3, 2,
behind you as
1.
well.
Yay! Woo! Woo! Ow! Okay, I'm good. Thank you, guys. All right.
Good luck on your first show, ladies.
All right, thanks, guys.
That's enough.
Okay, that's enough. Okay, ow!
That's enough.
That was awful. And Drew just laughed in the background. He thought it was hilarious. Well, thank you guys so much for coming on. We're like really excited about this. And I don't know if you guys joined us yesterday for our little teaser, but let me just kind of recap what we're doing here. I had an idea, both Shane and I had an idea. We have a lot of ideas, so this was just one of them. That, you know, we wanted to do a live show and kind of put together, you know, kind of this opportunity to. I
That's
think
beeping.
This is beeping at me.
Got it?
Okay, I got it. There we go.
No.
We wanted to put it together a show that we can talk to different people, engage in a conversation, maybe about community, about how to become better parents, how to become just better individuals, and we really want to just, I don't know, I want to talk to people, and now that we have this YouTube channel and we have the platform to do it, I was really excited to put together this kind of live show, and not in the traditional ways, but with the whole lighting and the whole, you know, camera equipment and all of that. So it's really like a professional looking show.
It's pretty legit. So.
Pretty legit show. So we're hoping to expand it every week. I'm definitely, you know, on board and committed to doing this once a week, Mondays at 6 p.m. and just talk about a variety of different topics that could be affecting people out there. And I hope to grow as a person from it, and I hope that others enjoy it too, and hopefully, you know, it brings some value to your lives too. And I'm totally up for suggestions, so if you have any suggestions on some topics that you think would be really beneficial, please leave those in the comments. I would love to hear some feedback on that. This is something that we're going to be posting, you know, regularly on our YouTube channel. I really encourage you guys to subscribe to our YouTube channel and just, you know, stay up to date with all of the different things. We still have our vlogs going on. We have our travel vlogs that we're hoping to expand this summer when we do a lot more traveling. We're definitely going to have this whole, you know, Monday live show on there, and you know, we're really excited to make that grow. That's really a passion of ours. And thank you guys so much for supporting me on that passion, because it's really like exciting to see people, you know, get together and support what we're doing. You know, one of the main goals that I have for our life is to pursue a passion and to work really hard at it and to become successful. And to me, success is growing that channel and having a bigger platform that we can share some motivational messages. Not just, you know, for me as a person, but I hopefully inspire others too. So that's just my crazy dream. Thank you guys for coming along for the ride on that one. So today, our very first show, I'd like to introduce you to Lupe Padilla. Spillman.
Spillman.
Sorry, I keep on getting it.
She's my name.
She is actually one of my closest friends. I've known her since I was 4 years old, and that is a long, long time ago. So I thought it would be perfect to kick off this first show with her because she knows me the best and can totally put up with my nonsense and my craziness. And why don't you go ahead and tell everybody a little bit about yourself?
Sure. So I went to brunch with Mary about a week ago. And we started just to have conversation about some of her crazy ideas. And she brought me along on her first show, which was really crazy because it was an idea and leave it to Mary to run with an idea. And next thing you know is like, here I am. So a little bit about me. I'm a mom of 3. I'm a wife. I'm an IT professional by day and aspiring blogger at night. So I'm also a native, first generation Phoenician. Was born in Phoenix, Arizona, and I live out in the West Valley now. That's where I call home. So a little bit about my blog is because I'm a native, I've seen this city expand to what it is, and it's really exciting to see all these small companies build such a great brand and reputation for themselves. And what I'd like to do is I'd like to highlight a little bit about what they're doing for themselves as business owners and also for their communities. So that's the idea that I'm running with my blog, localazgal.com. So thank you, Mary, for allowing me the opportunity to come here and speak a little bit about our topic today, which is kind of a heavy topic, but I think that we can all take a little bit from it, and it's definitely brings it home for me because I do have a teenager in high school, and I have 2 girls that will soon be in high school as well. So yeah, thanks.
Yeah. So today's topic is pretty much about talking to our teenagers. We had this conversation a week and a half ago about 13 Reasons Why, and it kind of started with that whole series on Netflix. And I was asking, hey, have you watched it? You know, as parents, I think we totally took a different take than others. It's if you have a teenager, you totally know how that is. And I'm sure a lot of people that are tuning in have teenagers. I just saw that Martha is on. Hey, I know you can relate to everything that's going on. Caesar, my nephew's tuned on, and he is a teenager, so I'm sure he'll have something to say about all of these things.
So when we were chatting about it the other day, the conversation was around the mixed feelings and emotions about it. There was, I know that I recall I had a family member send me a text saying, oh my gosh, please do not allow your son to watch it, and if he does, please watch it with him, so in case he has questions, which totally freaked me out because I had only gone through the first 3 episodes of the series, 13 Reasons Why, and so this kind of alerted me, and I'm like, holy crap, please don't watch it. Ashton, that's my son, who's 16 years old. But what I actually have just completed this series, and what I took from it is completely different than some of the experience that others are experiencing. So do you want to maybe tell a little bit about what you were thinking when you saw it?
So basically, this is how it went down in my house. Joshua sends me a text saying, have you heard about 13 Reasons Why? I just watched the first episode. And I had heard about it because everybody on social media was talking about it, and I know a bunch of my girlfriends were watching. So I immediately, turned to one of my girlfriends, Ashley, and asked her, hey, is this even appropriate for my 14-year-old? Joshy is, I still kind of consider him a little bit on the younger side of the teenage world. And Ashley was saying, well, it does have some major some major topics, I guess, but it's always in a negative light. I think he would get a lot out of it. And so we kind of talked about it, and we agreed that, it would be something that, he could watch. And it's not like I sit there and like censor anything. I mean, unless it was like really crazy. But I think we talked a little bit about it. I told him, I said, I heard it's a little bit crazy. Why don't we watch it together? And maybe it's something that, we could both enjoy. That's something that we do regularly anyways. We get into a mini series together.
So I know that most of you may have seen the show or the series. Some of you may have not. Some of you may be on the fence. But just to kind of like a little recap about the show. So it follows a 17-year-old. It's about the aftermath of a 17-year-old committing suicide. And the storyline is this 17-year-old, what she did is she created these tapes for the 13 folks in her life, in her circle, which is high school students, that they were the ones that created the reason why. They were one of the many reasons why she committed suicide. So it's a heavy topic, but for me, what I took from it too, and in conversation with my boy, is that it's reality. It's really what's happening, and how one lie, one rumor, one thought around, whatever it may be, a picture that's been out in social media could really impact another person in a very heavy way, and the ultimate result was suicide.
Yeah, definitely. And Stephanie, I know that you said that you need to watch it, but I think you read the book, so you kind of know what it's about. And Melanie's saying, is it bad that I liked it? No, I actually really enjoyed the series too.
And the characters, it's like you
it was,
can't help but to like the characters too.
Yeah, I thought it was very well done. A very good show. So I kind of got out of the whole situation, and let me tell you why, because it's kind of a funny story. But Joshy started watching, the episodes with me. We were doing it every night. We were watching 1 or 2 episodes a night. And then he got in trouble at school for grades. His grade slipped a little bit in language arts. So, of course, the first thing that goes are all electronics. So he kind of missed the boat on watching the rest of the series. And then by the time that he got his things back, it was kind of old news. Like, everybody had already spoiled it for him and told him what it was about. And I said, oh, are you going to finish watching it? And he's a little bit more of a sensitive kid, so he decided that he doesn't need to have that negativity in his life, and he said, no, I don't really want to watch it. It's something that I don't really want to choose to watch with my free time. He likes more uplifting things. He likes comedies.
So funny.
And he's kind of a different kid. So
that's funny, because Ashton felt the same way. When I asked him, I said, so are you going to watch it? And he's like, yeah, it sounds a little depressing, and I actually want to finish with Shameless and Friends is next. So I'm not making it a priority, which is quite interesting that he just didn't. He's like, I know the ending. It's not something that's negative vibes. It's not something I want to watch. So it's funny that Joshy had the same effect.
Yeah, so he didn't want to watch it. That's cool with me, because, then we didn't really have a lot. But I did want to talk to him about, the whole, suicide topic. What I felt like I got out of it the most was, and I shared this with Josh, was how crazy was it that the parents were so oblivious to anything that was going on in the kid's life. In every single instance, in every single character that was on the show, the parents had no idea of what was going on. And that really struck a chord with me, because I'm like, I don't want to be those parents. Wait, am I one of those parents? How much do I really know? And you start thinking about that, and the kids talk to me, but do they really talk to me if they have those kind of issues? So it's always a little bit scary to feel like maybe I am kind of disconnected, and maybe those parents on the show thought that they were okay with their kids and thought they knew a lot, and in reality they didn't even know. What was really sad is that when the girl committed suicide, it's like her parents had no idea, and they were just trying to piece it together, what was really going on in her life. And so I think that's what was really struck the chord with me, kind of made it
eye-opening.
Yeah.
Right. So I know Hannah's the name of the character, and even though they seem to appear to be present, they are her parents were like any other parent. They were business owners that were struggling. They had their own issues going on, and I still felt that they were pretty engaged with their daughter. They still asked questions and whatnot. But when it comes to the end, we realize that maybe they should have just paid a little more attention, and that's the mother's journey, is to make sure that she finds out the truth. And so it's really, really, really interesting, the kind of the waves of emotion and frustration and sadness, and she really goes through that, and it really hit a chord with me as well, because it's I just don't want to be that parent that wasn't aware. So.
And how do you really not be that parent? If your kids are refusing to talk to you, it's like, well, what am I supposed to do if my kid's just not really communicating? And I think that's a very common thing with teenagers, is that you think that you think that they would tell you things like that, but in reality, I don't think they really do. And so how do we go about this with trying to get the kids to open up a little bit more and tell us more? Hey, just wanted to say a shout out to Erin. Thanks for joining. Also, Felicia, hey girl. Alyssa, your sister, Shane, she's on. She never watches the vlogs. I totally call her out.
Now.
She's here now. That's all that matters. Yeah, it is scary stuff, Stacy. I totally agree with that.
So I'm married to a teacher. So our circle of friends are several high school teachers, which was interesting for me to go out and get their perspective on what's created, what's going on, and what kind of conversation it's created within the students, within the staff. And I talked to Amanda Jacobs. Thank you for the insight. She was really, really passionate about what she took away from it. And obviously she said what we saw is a reality, is what's really, really, truly happening. And my husband also said, he's like, you don't see it, the typical bully anymore, where you push, shove, and fight. That's not how they're battling anymore. It's more over social media, spreading rumors. I mean, from a quick click, you're sending a picture that maybe showed you in a very different light that really wasn't the case. So it was interesting to get their perspective that it's happening in our high schools. It is a true depiction of what's happening. And then some of the things that they said that they've changed a little bit, obviously as parents, is being more aware, being constant, wanting to be more engaged, asking more questions, maybe not leave it with the whole, how was your day? Like, that's not enough anymore.
Yeah.
Also with her students, Amanda Jacobs had mentioned that she's trying to be more mindful, even though she already was, she's trying to be more focused on, okay, maybe this person needs just a hello for today, and how that could really impact a student that's really struggling through some of these things. So it was really, really insightful to think, because you think this is a drama, this is based on a novel, how much of it is really reality. And it was interesting to hear a couple of my teacher friends that are high school teachers say it's reality. It's really happening in our high schools.
Yeah, and another thing that really hit close to home is that just in our community here in Chandler, there was a suicide of a 12-year-old boy. I didn't know that family personally, but when that happened, it definitely caused us to have some serious sad feelings, and my heart does go out to that family that's struggling with that right now. I don't know the details of it, but I think since it was so close to home here in our community, it was something that we need to talk about with our kids, because I didn't even know if just Josh seems to be on social media and get updates from kids at different schools and things like that, so he was going to hear about it.
Right.
And so we did have that conversation about, hey, did you hear what happened? And I asked him, do you know anything about that? And he said that he had heard about it. And it was, something that was, everybody was really talking about. And I think, that kind of gave us the chance to talk about it more, like, hey, are things that bad at school that you think that could be, happening at your school? And he did say that, the pressures at school are sometimes really tough, and to navigate that is really tough, and it's a lot of pressure that people have. Ava happened to be in the car at that time, and she's 7 years old.
How did she take that?
And
tell me a little bit about that, because I have a 7-year-old too. And is it too early to bring up a conversation like that? What was that like?
Yeah, it was kind of like a lesson learned thing. It was too early to talk about that. She doesn't know about anything like that, and she just didn't understand the whole concept. I don't think she understands social pressures or, being bullied. Her idea of being bullied is like, oh, someone was mean to me at the playground, didn't want to play, and then the next day it's all blown over and everything's fine. So she was asking questions, and she kind of just didn't kind of understand. And we kind of just we're like, you know what, Ava, let's just go play. Let's just go do something else. Let's talk about something else. And she totally forgot about it by the next day. But yeah, 7. A little bit too young,
okay.
Too early.
Mental note.
Lesson learned on that one, and of course, like parents, I am no expert. Let me tell you, I have 4 kids, and you would think that I'm a veteran mom and I know what I'm doing, and I absolutely do not know what I'm doing most of the time. So we wing it a lot, and so
I think most of us do, right? There's a book that tells us.
I hope so. I hope.
I wanted to go to some of the comments that folks are saying about it, because I'd love to hear your guys' perspective on what you guys are experiencing. Have you guys even seen the show? So Emily here, Emily Franco, she mentioned Diego, her stepson, has watched it with his mom. He's glad he saw it based on what they've talked about. He thinks it was a good thing he did. It's reality. Melanie says, I don't have kids, but I think it's also important to make sure our own kids are not bullying others on social media, and that is extremely important. Though I can't really control what happens outside with other kids, I can control and really have that conversation with my kids to show them and tell them that that's not okay to bully. So that's a very, very good point, Melanie.
Yeah, and I think some kids don't even realize what they're doing and how much it impacts, and it's so easy to hide behind your computer screen and make a joke about something, and I don't think people realize. I mean, Alex does stuff like that too. I'm sure. I've had to delete some tweets, and he wasn't really happy about me reading his tweets. I try to, read as much as I can and monitor. I'm obviously not good at that. I kind of rely on.
Do you get called stalker mom? Because I get called stalker
Yes,
mom.
absolutely. And I'm not really trying to stalk. Actually, Joshy's friends, they like me, and Josh always thinks that's
cool
so weird.
mom.
I'm kind of the cool mom. Such a cool mom.
See,
like
I
the
try
girls.
to do that
But-
and convince Ashton we're cool. He disagrees.
And his friends actually talk to me when they do come over. They've had conversations with me, which is kind of weird.
That's
I'm like,
really
why would
cool.
they be talking to me and not their
Right.
own mom? But yeah, Alex had moments where he said some not nice things on Twitter, and we made him go through and delete all of those things. And I don't think he really understood. He's like, it was just a joke. It's just
Right.
funny.
Yes.
And I'm like, yeah, that's not funny. And if people are seeing that in the future, when you're trying to get the serious job, I don't think they're going to think it's pretty funny
Right.
and stuff. So you need to protect your own
Brand.
your own brand, and you cannot be talking and making jokes like that
Right.
because people don't understand your tone or how they might
think it
just
was
not
this-
take it as a joke.
Yeah, the same message I gave my son is like, you may say something and you may mean it in a certain way, but the person receiving it can totally translate it to something else. And I think that's a lot of what happened on 13 Reasons Why. And throughout the series as well, they always talk, it's her truth, because they said, that's not how it went, blah, 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 blah. Maybe that's not how they perceived it to be, but it was her truth. So that was a good point to make, to say that what you're saying can be perceived however the person that's receiving it will perceive. Do you want to go to others? There's a couple other comments.
Stacy made a good point that she has 3 kids, completely different personalities, and you have to adjust your parenting to what works for each individual. And isn't that the truth? Oh my gosh, my 4 kids are complete opposites. We have Alex, that's the shy and the super conservative type kid who doesn't share much because he's just not a talker, and he's very driven though. And then we have Joshy, who's kind of more of our mediator and our peaceful, wants everybody to be happy. And then we have Ava, who's just our wild child who makes everything fun, who can't stop talking, who says everything that's on her mind. And then, Judah, I don't know what he's going to be like, but so far he's going to be exactly like Shane. Exactly. And he even looks just like him. But yeah, you definitely have to, change your kind of approach to match what works for each kid. And for Alex, it's completely different than how I talk to Joshua. And Joshua is more, open to sharing things. Although Alex tells us some pretty crazy things about things that have happened, and I'm like,
He's
oh,
open.
I don't want to hear because
yeah.
I'm like, I don't know why you're telling me this. I would have never told my mom what was
Different
going
times,
on.
different times.
But it's things that work for certain kids definitely don't work. I totally agree with that.
Being a parent is not easy. Juggling.
Yeah. Vanessa says, I'm a hot mom, and that's why they talk to me.
Duh.
That's not
why
what they
talk to
think,
you.
let me tell you. Yeah, everybody's agreeing with Stacy. You definitely have to adjust to make it work for your own kid. Every kid's going to be completely different. There's no, right solution. And I think that's kind of what I wanted to talk about with this whole show, is that there's no right way to parent. And a lot of people are saying, no, I would never let my kid watch that. And maybe that's a definitely good approach for your child. For mine, I think it would have been acceptable for him to watch. He chose not to, and I'm kind of proud of him for making that decision. That he likes to watch. He wants to make sure that he's watching things that he would enjoy, and he likes more uplifting things. But yeah, I mean.
I'm gonna just highlight, following on what you said, is Emily said the same thing. So her son is totally matured enough to handle that content, that show, and understand its purpose. So key is to know your kids and talk to your kids. So as you mentioned, there may be some 13, 14-year-olds that may understand it, and then you're gonna have those that totally don't want, this is not something I want to talk about. This is not something at this time, right?
Right. And I think if you're kid has some depression and some thoughts of suicide, and that could have been a really bad fit for them to watch something like that. I know that some experts in the field were worried that this is going to spark a lot of people, a lot of kids trying to commit suicide, because it kind of glorified it, because she's remembered and people are trying to figure it out and stuff. So I think it's really important to be there, present,
right,
and talk to your kid at least about it. Whether you allow them to watch the show or not, I think you need to talk about it, because other kids are watching it and they're telling your kids about what's going on. So you can only shelter so much.
Right. I think it's like a fine line between being your child's friend to an extent, so that they're open to have conversation with you, and being the actual parent. Mm-hmm. And it's a constant, okay, how do I discipline, how do I react to things so that he knows that I'm the parent, but at the same time I want him to be able to have conversation with me. That's always a fine line that we're walking.
Felicia says, my perspective on bullying today is that parents need to maintain a level of supervision on their child's social media accounts, mm-hmm, to help stop that and any inappropriate content and interactions. The problem with that is that it is so hard to know what the next thing is. For a while it was Facebook, and then for a while it was Instagram, and now it's Snapchat and Twitter, and there's so many things to monitor, and so many just direct messages that it's almost a full-time job, right, to try to intercept. So I probably do. And then also at the same time, how much freedom do I want to give my kid? I don't want to micromanage him. He needs to be able to make good decisions on his own, because I'm not going to be there his whole life.
And bad ones too, so they learn from them. So
yeah, definitely. So how do you manage that?
So as far as the social media aspect, the cool thing is I have a couple of friends that's what they do for a living. Shout outs to liftedwebsites.com. But I also have a few interns that I interact with on my day-to-day at my job, and they actually keep me up to date with some of the things that are happening. So if you guys have that young person in your circle, I always ask questions. Hey, what's going on? What's new? What are teenagers using today? So that's always a way that I kind of try to stay in tune with some of the new trends when it relates to social media. So couple of things that I do. So yeah, it's hard, because there's every day I feel like there's a new app that pops up that's trending, and it's for a certain amount of time, and then you're on to the next one. Just as you totally mastered one thing, you're on to the next. So
yeah, which is why I'm probably doing a terrible job on Instagram. I have no idea how to use it, and some people know that because they've seen my post. But yeah, it's almost impossible, and especially when you have more than one child, it's I can't be checking up on everybody, what they're posting or what they're saying. One of the things that I do ask them to do is, friend me. Don't, if they blocked me, that would be a major problem, because I pay for that cell phone bill right now.
Yes.
So, and that was one of the things I had told Alex. I didn't agree with some of the tweets that he had out. He had some controversial tweets, and he's allowed to have controversial tweets and stuff. But I think that he was taking it a little bit to the next level, arguing with people. And so I told him, you know what, I don't think that this sheds a positive light on you, and I need you to delete those tweets.
Right.
And he was not very happy about it, but at the end of the day, it's like, I pay your cell phone bill, so you're going to need to delete those tweets.
Or you will have no phone.
Or you will have no cell phone.
Yeah, I
And
think too.
he had to go with it, and I hated, pulling that whole mom card and, it's showing...
Because you want them to have their opinion. You
I
want them
want
to
them to
express
have-
themselves. You want them to be able to do that without keeping like a tight leash. Because I think that's part of growing up is finding your identity. Even though I always tell my son, you don't really know who you are until you're 30. However, it's. I think it's important that we do shield a couple of those tweets.
Yeah, and Vanessa has a good point
Messages.
that, it's not realistic for teens, and also sends a message to your teens that you don't trust them when you're constantly checking up.
Right.
And I think that was huge for me because as a teenager, I felt like I didn't get trusted. I had no, liberty. We had no freedom. We were really sheltered. I think Vanessa and I talked about that yesterday. Is that we were so on a leash
Right.
that made us be worse. We were like such rebels, and we were like,
The way I
let's-
always gauge it is like, okay, what was I doing at the age of 16?
Yeah.
And if it's not worse than that, I think we're okay.
we're okay. But the more you try to get that leash
Right.
on them, the worse that they're gonna be, because they're just gonna exert their power and not tell you anything. So I kind of, even when they do tell me something crazy, I kind of just keep the straight face and just go with it. And that has been really interesting in our life. Sometimes, Alex has shared things with us in front of other kids, our little kids, and we were like, oh my God, I cannot believe you said that in front of little kids. Or I cannot believe you told us that, because I would have never told my mom that.
That's hilarious.
But we do want to just, keep the straight face and just kind of just talk to him about it and not judge him. And I think he realizes, I think Josh realizes when he makes a mistake and stuff, and he'll say something, and I'm like, that was probably not the best choice or the best thing to say or the best way to go about that problem. And and I think that helps to kind of keep that conversation going between us, where he doesn't feel like I'm judging him or anything like that.
So I'm just going to do a quick plug on my interns because I think they're amazing. So Selena and Danny, thank you for keeping me up in tune with what's going on, what's trending today. So hi guys.
Emily says, preach, Mary, lockdown does not work. Seriously. So Emily's my sister, and she was there. Hopefully my parents aren't tuning in right now, huh? Because we're like totally
We're
stalking.
gonna watch it
They
later.
were so strict.
They were so strict.
So that's something we have in common. We grew up with very religious Catholic parents or mom parents. So we had that.
Oh, I should probably share that Lupa and my mom are best friends.
Yeah.
So
Her mom's my godmother.
so that was kind of interesting growing up. We spent a lot of time together, and they were really into the religion and church and keeping us to be good girls.
And the result of that was we kind of went way left. However, we reeled it back in.
We
and
reeled
here
it back in,
we are. Here we
and it
are.
all turned out to be
You
fine.
said that Lupe and your mom.
Lupe and my mom are best friends.
No.
Lupe's mom.
Lupe's
Whoa,
mom.
Lupe's mom, sorry. Excuse me.
You know
what I'm saying.
They were gonna think your mom was really crazy and led Lupe astray.
Lupe's mom and my mom are
Lydia, what
best
up?
friends.
Just don't
And
know.
so, yeah, it was kind of crazy how they had a really tight leash, and we rebelled. We never talked to our parents about anything. And I think it's also, it was a different
the
time.
culture, and it was a culture
definitely
too.
the
Definitely
culture.
a culture. So at the end of the day, I think we turned out all right. So yeah.
Vanessa asked, do we monitor their music? Luckily, my kids are not really into music. Alex actually is not into music at all, so I never really had to worry about that. And Josh is really into K-pop right now, and so I don't really see a problem with that type of music. If it was type of music that, had some weird messages in it, I probably would step up and say something.
I don't even think that they grab the concept of whatever it is they're singing anyways. I think it's just kind of the tune. Maybe that's just my interpretation. Sometimes it's just a tune. They're not really hearing the message, but it could be me. Who knows?
Yeah. So, anybody else have any more things to add to that conversation? I mean, I would love to hear about it, how you guys managed to talk to your kids about this important subject. Do you have a really, different stance about not wanting your kid to watch it? One thing I did want to say was that I did read an article about how the difference between kids watching that show and reading the book, and that was it was a really interesting thing because back in the day, a few years ago, Joshie wanted to read that book, The Hunger Games, and people were like, "Oh, it's such a violent book." And I think Joshie was very young at the age. I can't even remember, maybe 9 or 10. But he's always been a really great reader. And so he asked to read the book, and I said, yeah, well, let's read it together. And he read it, and, everything was fine. And then we went to go see the movie, of course, and all that. And it was a great movie. And so people were, in this article that I was reading, were talking about, maybe instead of letting your kids watch the show, have them read the book, even if they're a little bit younger. And it's interesting because, I think the topics that were being discussed, and even the graphic suicide scene is a lot different when you read about it than when you watch it. So the minds of kids and how it works is a little bit different. That they don't know what they don't know, and they've never been exposed to suicide and the graphic details of it. So reading about it is a little bit different because their imagination can only take it so far. Whereas if they watch the show, they see the images and they can't control it. And they probably could have imagined it in a different, lighter way, rather than seeing these graphic, shots of a suicide. So I thought that was just an interesting kind of a thing. If you don't want to let your kids watch the show, maybe you let them read about it and then you talk about it then. And that was kind of a good compromise for some families.
Yeah. What I took from it is I think I encourage every parent to watch it. I really do, especially if you have a teenager in high school or you have a preteen in middle school. I think it's really, really important that you guys take the time to watch it so you guys are informed on some of the things that are happening, because it really was some insight into what high school life is in our now era. So completely encourage you as a parent, if you're a parent, to watch it. I will say that they actually Netflix picked up another season. So they're going to have a second season, which will be interesting, because I believe from what I've read is it'll cover how the parents deal with it. So there's a bit closure for the parents. So that should be interesting. Yeah.
Oh, Josh said that he actually made a Facebook page just so he could watch this live stream.
Apparently Facebook's not the thing.
No, Facebook is not the thing. It's really old-fashioned.
For that age, yeah.
So, but thanks, Josh, for joining.
That's awesome.
So, yeah, I just saw that Carlos and Jen joined. Hey, guys. Hopefully you could guys catch the whole conversation on the replay later on. It was a pretty good conversation about, talking to your kids. I think if anything, we get anything out of this whole conversation is that we just have to be there more for our teenagers. And you think because they're a little bit more self-sufficient that we don't really need to be there as often. But I felt like that's when they needed us the most, There was some crazy, things going on that I don't know if they always know how to manage or how to go about. And the pressures of schoolwork and social and all of that stuff is really hard. And even just being there constantly, one of the things I share a lot is that my oldest Alex, he's not very open about certain things. He doesn't talk to us a lot, and then all of a sudden he'll just talk. But it'll be like a once a month kind of occurrence. And then he'll just tell us everything.
I can relate to that.
But one of the things that was kind of cool is that I was just, he would come home from school and I would just sit there and I would just wait until he was kind of ready. And the awkward silence, it was a lot of the time, a long period of time without him saying anything. But I think if I just sat there long enough, he did open up and he said, something about his day. And I think having a lot of those opportunities for them to just know that you're there it sparks some kind of interest in them. Like, let me fill the silence. Let me fill the awkward silence. Let me say something. And it does lead to bigger conversations. And I try to do the same thing with Josh, and Shane does too, where he takes Josh, and I take Josh on kind of like a date.
Yeah.
And a lot of times he's on the phone, and I just sit there and wait until he's kind of ready.
Until he's ready.
And it's like awkward silence, and he gets it, and then finally puts the phone down, and he's ready to like say anything, and we just let him, like, let's just talk about anything. And even if it's not the most interesting topic for us, we totally go with it, and we want to hear what he has to say. And so we've heard a lot about K-pop, which I didn't know anything about, and a lot about K-pop, Korean pop.
Oh.
That's like a thing right now. So Josh is really
Korean
into Korean pop. So we've been trying to, support that dream, and he wants to go to Korea one day, and I want to support his dream and stuff.
Sure.
So we try to get involved as much as we can with his interest, and that's helped us connect a little bit. So I don't know. It's tough having teenagers. That's the bottom line.
So what is your final thought on 13 Reasons Why?
I'm glad I watched it.
Mm-hmm.
I got a lot out of it as a parent.
Sure.
I made me a little bit more, I guess, pressured to, like, I need to talk to my teen. I want to be more involved. I'm not gonna just let things slide. I'm not gonna let 2 days go by and he's only said a couple of words to me. Like, that stuff's not gonna fly with me, because I don't want to ever be in that situation where he's going through something and I'm just oblivious.
Right.
So I do vow to, get a little bit more involved, whether he likes it or not, and talk to him way more often.
Sure. Yeah. So
about you?
My final thought, very similar. I'm going to echo what you said. Is to try to find ways to be a little more engaged as it relates to conversation with my kids. Another thing too that I took away from it is that I want to make sure that if my kids are bringing friends around, that maybe I be that voice for them, or that caring heart. So if maybe I can start to have conversations with my friend or my kids' friends, and see if I can spot anything that they're just be more aware, because they may be going through something as well. So not only my kids, but I want to focus as well on their circle of friends. So that's kind of like, okay, not only do I need to focus on my child, but also be very aware of his surroundings, and then if I have an opportunity to be there, an ear to listen or whatever it may be. That's kind of the approach I'm going to take. So again, I'm not excited, but I'm glad I watched it. Very, very insightful for me, and thank you to my teacher friends that kind of validated what was shown and what was displaying, that it's very much reality. So thank you, teacher friends, for giving me that insight. Yep.
Cool, very cool. Well, thank you guys so much for joining us today in our very first live show. Yay!
I almost drank my whole drink.
I know. Cheers to that. We needed some liquid courage to get us through that.
To calm the nerves.
Calm the nerves. But I'm really excited to be doing this. I really want to commit to doing these live shows once a week on Mondays at 6 p.m. I think that's a good time. And if you didn't catch it live, please catch us on the replay and join us next Monday so you could join in on the conversation. This is really like our passion project, so if you guys could help and support our dream and go to YouTube and subscribe, it would mean the world to us. The address for that is youtube.com/c/splendidblended. And please subscribe, because just viewing it is not enough. It doesn't really count in the YouTube world. So those subscriptions really count to get us to meet our goals. And as having these passions and working towards them is like super duper, like, I live by by meeting goals and pursuing passions and things like that. So it would mean the world to me, and it would mean the world to Shane, if you guys could support us on this whole journey of building this vlog to become super successful. Also, this vlog is really important for our whole family. We've gotten the kids involved, and they absolutely love doing it. Josh has been running a lot of the social media parts of it. My nephew has too. Caesar, thank you for all your support and insight. Ava is the star, of course, and she has a lot of feedback for us all the time. and always wants to chip in. And it's really brought us closer as a family. So this has been such a great and amazing project for us all. Shane is the mastermind behind everything, and our creative director
amazing.
and our videographer, and puts up with me on a regular basis.
And your crazy ideas.
And my crazy ideas and all of my edits and all of that. So I have to give him a big, huge shout out. And he's also the love of my life. So that always is super helpful. But he really puts his heart and soul into creating some really good quality content. And this whole vlog, whole show, everything that we've been doing lately has been guiding us. And I don't know if it's like the universe trying to tell us
that's what it is, girl.
to keep on going.
Universe.
But there's been some amazing things that have been happening, and we've met some actually really amazing friends along with this whole journey. So thank you so much for your support. Go over to our YouTube and subscribe, please. And also, I want to thank Lupe for joining us
Thank you
today.
for having me.
This
So
was
it's
so fun.
It
Even if
was.
no one's watching, like, this has been a great for me to connect with, one of my closest girlfriends. And so I want you guys to also check out her blog. And Lupe, can you
Sure.
remind
So my
everybody?
handle is at LILUPIE at Instagram. And my URL, my domain is localazgale.com. Again, it's in its early phases, but it's coming together. So thank you guys for having me here and being part of your craziness that you have. You guys really do have an amazing production, and I'm so proud of you guys. This is cool stuff. So to be a part of it was really exciting.
So don't forget to join in next Monday at 6 p.m. We're going to be releasing the topic of that new episode later on this week. So keep tuned onto our Instagram and Facebook page. I swear Joshie will be doing a better job, and so will I, at promoting on those. Sometimes we kind of forget. But yeah, check it out. Subscribe on YouTube, follow us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram, and you won't miss anything. And thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. Really appreciate all you guys.
Awesome.
Talk to you guys later.
Bye.
Bye. All right. Cheers.